I used to believe as a website developer that if I just wrote cleaner code and built prettier interfaces, the market would naturally pay me more. I was, actually wrong. Well, success in this industry isn't technical perfection. It's the result of an engineered system that connects your craft to a business's revenue. In the next 90 seconds, I'm going to show you the structural shift from being a feature builder to a revenue strategist. We are going to re-engineer how you present your value so you can finally break through the ceiling that keeps your rates stagnant. Most developers suffer from a mechanical failure called the feature trap. You focus on the technical specs, the how of the build, while the client is actually looking for transformation, the why behind the investment. Because to a client, they're spending this amount of money. It's natural for them to expect a return on that investment. When you sell features, you are becoming a commodity. You sell solution to a specific business pain, you actually become an essential partner. You become indispensable. You can fix the problem that the business is actually suffering from. Then you become a partner. You become part of the solution. The logic is simple. Businesses do not actually buy code, but they actually buy a more efficient version of themselves as a business and a business owner. So to move from an order taker to a strategist, you must look at your work through the value equation. And this value equation is actually borrowed from Alex Hormozi. And it goes like this. The dream outcome multiplied by the perceived likelihood of achievement divided by the time delay multiplied by the effort and sacrifice that the client actually needs to do on his end. Your job isn't really to write lines of code. It's actually to maximize the top of that fraction while minimizing the bottom of that equation. So if you could do that, you can create a higher perceived value to your client. And how do you actually do this? Step one is to identify the outcome. Instead of listing your tech stack, identify the dream outcome that your client is actually trying to chase. What is very important to them? Whether that's, more leads, a lower churn on their funnel, and greater conversions. Just figure out what is it that they really want as a dream outcome. And step two is to map the journey. To solve their problem, build what we call a minimum viable journey. This is a 3-part mechanism: an entry point for awareness, a consideration bridge, and a clear decision trigger to close the gap for the buyers of your clients. So your website, the website that you create, isn't only a pretty catalog, but actually a bedrock for a customer journey. Step 3, establish the scoreboard. And this is very important. What you need to do is define the metrics that matter to the client, like customer lifetime value or customer acquisition cost or cost per acquisition. Because when you can point to a scoreboard and show how your system, the thing that you actually created, improved the numbers, and you tie back what you do, what really matters to the business, which is revenue. The numbers, the price of your code becomes irrelevant. So for me, how I made this shift was actually by realizing that my best work wasn't happening inside of the code editor. It was actually happening in the strategy calls, where I stopped asking requirements. I stopped asking what they want me to build. And instead, I started asking about the revenue bottlenecks. What was actually preventing them from getting more revenue. The moment I started treating my services as a logical system for growth, my project rates actually tripled because I was no longer a cost in the sheet. I was an asset. I became part of the solution. I became a business partner. So if you want the internal documentation of how to turn technical skills into high-value marketing systems, comment the word strategist below, because I'll send you the blueprint to help you stop building features and start mastering the logic and language of digital marketing. Cheers.